so much, Rabbi Roffe. I'm going to introduce you in a second. I'm
Please.
just going to get you somewhere.
Just gonna sit down. Good morning. Thank you. I'm just trying to find this pasuk.
So we here at the Midrasha, we are very honored to have you today. Thank you so much. We started this Midrasha about 6 months ago, more or less, in Cheshvan. And we gather every Wednesday. We learn together from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And every 11:30 a.m. we have an inspiring lunch with a guest, with a guest speaker. And we're very, very honored to have you, Rabbi Roffe, today. Rabbi Roffe is the chief rabbi of the Kollel of North Miami Beach.
Sephardi.
Sephardi. And so we're very, very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs.
Personally, I also had the zechut to have my boys go with Rabbi Roffe in 7th grade. So
the Sephardi rabbi on Terasemes, Baruch Hashem. Thank you for the invitation, Baruch Hashem.
You can just dedicate the class לרפואה שלמה, אדל מרים בת מיכל עליה.
שברפואה שלמה, אדל מרים בת מיכל עליה. בעזרת השם יתברך, יצלח לקדוש ברוך הוא רפואה שלמה בתור שאר חולי עם ישראל. Okay, thank you for the opportunity. It's a big zechut for me, ממש. I דווקא know the Sidbon boys. I just saw one boy recently, Eitan, Baruch Hashem. And Baruch Hashem, kol hakavod for your sons. It's good you are friends with her. Probably, if you're friends with Mrs. Sidbon, so for sure you are great also, Baruch Hashem. And okay, let's try. I heard that you have an inspiring launch. How much time I have to speak?
Up to 1 hour.
Okay, good, fine. I will try to inspire you. You know what? I said, something that for sure is inspiring. My English is not necessarily the best English. I'm Latin American. I'm from Venezuela. And I learned English in Miami, that's how I learned English. And okay, good. So I once was the first time I was requested for someone to speak in the college. So I wasn't sure I shouldn't speak. I should speak. And you know what? I said, I'm gonna do it. That's the only way. Just jump to something you don't know. That's how things move in life. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna speak. And my wife is like, okay, we have to practice English. So perfect. She got me a book. We got a book. I will tell you the book exactly. You heard about Pesach Kron. So there is books that they make with all his stories. And in one of the, my brother-in-law had a book, so we borrow it. And we open a story, and my wife said, you're gonna read, and I'm gonna correct you. It's da, a, and all this type of things that in Venezuela, not necessarily we just go with the. She is American, born in America, but she comes from Peruvian family. So it's also so she knows Spanish too. And okay, I opened the first story, and you won't believe it. It's something that is very inspiring. So I start reading the story, and it was about a rabbi. There was a rabbi called Rabbi Yechezkel Abramsky. Rabbi Yechezkel Abramsky, he was a Russian rabbi, and he is a massive gaon, and he was in Siberia. And after he was freed from Siberia, so the community of London, they brought him out of Russia. They got him out, and they bring him to London. So now a Russian rabbi in England, you have to speak English. So his English wasn't the best, Yiddish or Russian. So English will be a little bit Russian. So he was very successful in his drashot. Everyone goes to his shurim. There was another rabbi, also non-English rabbi, and he also gives drashot. And he was not that the people call him, they want to go to his shurim, unless you want to sleep well, you go to that shir, There was a rabbi here in Miami, Rav Zev left, and he said one time he was giving a drasha, and the next day, one of his people of his community come, Rabbi, I couldn't sleep last night. So he said, I'm sorry, I didn't want to disturb you. You're sleeping from my drasha. He said, no, what about this drasha? So what happened? And it was too long, and I slept too much, so I couldn't sleep last night. So now, so these two rabbis, Rabbi Abramsky his English not that well, and the other rabbi doesn't say the number. That's the story in the book. I said first time I opened a book and read in English. That's the story I come. So the rabbi that is not so successful goes to Rabbi Abramsky. What happens? Why if both of us our English is not well, so why you are so successful and I'm not? So the rabbi say could be like this. You focus that you don't know English well, so probably people don't understand you well. And at the end of the day, that's what you project in your drashot. Me, I know how to speak English well, but I know the topic I'm speaking about, and I focus on transmitting that. And דברים היוצאים מן הלב, נכנסים אל הלב. What comes out of your heart goes to someone else's heart. So it doesn't matter what the language it goes. So that was the secret, and I said to my wife, over, no more. Someone give me Rosetta Stone, all this. No, I'm not learning English that way. The story taught me a lesson for life. Baruch Hashem, my English got better, Baruch Hashem. I always say to the Spanish people, I don't know if there is any person here that speaks Spanish, but like, I don't know if to speak in English or in Spanish, but don't worry, my English sounds like Spanish, so we'll understand, right? Okay, now we go. That's a lesson that is kedai to come to listen, because everything in life is about, don't focus on your weak points. Focus on what you're good at, and everything will be fine. Everything will be success. Don't. Some people are scared, and Baruch Hashem, learn Baruch Hashem. Now that was the story. And then it's interesting because right now we're in the days between Pesach and Shavuot. Pesach Shavuot is the time that we're preparing for Matan Torah, which is receiving the Torah. And it was not something that happened thousands of years ago. It's every year we renew. It's like we renew the lease. We renew our Kabbalat Torah, and we somehow connect more with the Torah and want to grow more in Torah. And that's what happened. And really pay attention. Interesting. An event that is so important in the history of Am Israel, we don't even know where the place is anymore. Like you might think, they should leave some sort of a place for tourists to go every year to Har Sinai. We don't even know what is Har Sinai. We don't know anything, because really that was meaningless. Okay, it was given in a mountain, in a very humble mountain, and all these messages. But what is important is really that we accept the Torah, and it's every year we renew the Har Sinai. So wherever we are, whether we're in Miami, whether a person is in France or Venezuela, wherever it is a person go, we renew every year this Kabbalat Torah. And I was thinking that it's amazing that you have a Midrasha. I feel like, wow, it's every Wednesday. Bezat Hashem should be every day, if it's possible. It's not easy. Like women is not easy. You are very busy, Baruch Hashem. But people might think, what's the purpose of a midrasha? I understand a yeshiva, boys, they have a mitzvah of learning Torah. We have a mitzvah of learning Torah. So they have to have a place to go and learn. Husbands, they have to go to the shul. They have minyanim with tefillot and learning. They have a mitzvah of learning. But women, they're busy in the home. If they have little kids, they're going to leave everybody? It's a babysitter. It's not easy. So what's the purpose of a midrasha? So I will answer you. What's the purpose of midrasha? So you feel good. It's amazing. It's a pasuk. A pasuk in the Torah says as follows. The pasuk says in Parashat Yitro, when he talks about Hashem giving the Torah, the pasuk says, I moved the pasuk here. כה תאמר לבית יעקב ותגד לבני ישראל. The pasuk says when Moshe Rabbeinu was requested by Hashem, go speak with Am Israel if they want to receive the Torah. So the pasuk says, this is what you're going to tell to Bet Yaakov, to the house of Yaakov, which is the women, Eluhan Nashim, Rashi says, is the women. V'taged livnei Israel, and you're also going to speak with Bnei Israel, with the men. So apparently it should say, the Torah should say, go speak with Am Israel, include men and women. Why I have to say, go speak with the women, and then go speak with Bnei Israel, with the men? Just go to them and talk to them. So no, Rashi says the way Moshe Rabbeinu presented the idea of receiving the Torah, it was not in the same level for men and women. For women was soft, like a nice, the parts without difficulties. And for the men was all the details, like you have to know if you have to use a ring to get married, and the ring have to have a specific value, and all these details. For women, it's an idea that you have to go through the process of kiddushin to get married, but it's not with all these details and not the hard part to the women. So the soft part of the Torah is when we give it to the women, and the hard part of the Torah, we give it to the men. They have to elaborate more and learn more and put more input to understand. Women, we explain them all the rules, but at the end, we all receive the same Torah. We have the 613 mitzvot all together. Just the way Moshe Rabbeinu went to the women is not the way he went to the men. Have to be two different approaches. So Chafetz Chaim, in the time, I don't know if you heard about something called the Beis Yaakov. Bet Yaakov is Beis Yaakov started by Sarah Schneeder. He was a hero in Am Israel. It was maybe in World War I, at the end of the World War I, or in the middle or something like that. I don't remember exactly the years, but she started a movement that it didn't exist in Am Israel. It did not exist, such a thing. What? An academy for girls. There's not such a thing. It used to be yeshivot, right? For boys, they go to learn, but it didn't exist such a concept. Like girls, young age, they're going to a school the whole day to learn Torah and that. So some people were against this new idea. Come on, let them be home, in the house, helping, learning how to write, how to sew, how to do tasks, but don't send them to an academy to learn Torah. That's for the boys, not for the girls. So there was some group that they were against it, very strong, and some group that they were pro. It's a good idea, She realizes that also the girls they need also to get some information and learning. So they went to the Chafetz Chaim. That's how you go. You go to the Gadol Hador. The two groups went to the Gadol Hador. The group against, they explained the Torah is not for the women. The Torah is for the men. The women just need to have a little knowledge, but they will acquire everything from what they see at home. And the boys are the one that needs to have yeshivot. And they went against it. And the other group says, Rabbi, we need your bracha. We want to create more Beis Yaakov and go expand all over Europe. And we want to make a revolution. And the Chafetz Chaim says, oy vey. It's such a good, how you call it, take undertaking. It's such an important undertaking. And I don't have part of it because it's for girls. It's such an important undertaking, and I won't have part of it, but it's so important to have it. So the other group that they were against it, like they say, whoa, this is like we was not expecting such a thing from the Gadol Hador. And he explains, I know this group are upset a little bit, why I support such an idea, because they say the Torah never had such a thing of academies for learning for women, but you should know something, that was in the olden days, when there was no exposure to other cultures, right? The Jewish people, they used to live together. It was all, you could leave Judaism just by being in the society. But in our time, says the Chafetz Chaim already like 100 years ago and more, so he said in our times that there's so much influence that comes out from the other societies, we have to also dedicate time for women to learn Torah. They also have to have this. It's true, it's a different approach, but they still have to be taught. Moshe Rabbeinu went specifically to the women, and then he went to the men. So it's important to have such a thing. Such a Midrasha is an amazing undertaking, and I give you a blessing that you should keep going. You should not feel like, don't let anybody to put you down, because it's important. Maybe your husband doesn't really appreciate, come on, leave me. I go to learn. I also have to go to learn, because I also need to learn. And I saw you guys learning halachot Shabbat, halachot Kashrut. It's so important, halachot. Anything, it's new. All these things that are day to day, we have to learn it. We have the same obligations of fulfilling the mitzvot, so we have to know them. So it's important to have it, and my blessing that everything should be successful and keep growing, and everyone keep on growing. So now that we're talking about renewing Kabbalat Torah, it's so important, the renewal of Kabbalat Torah. Every year we receive the Torah. And it's interesting, in the same pasuk we just spoke, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, you have to go to Beit Yaakov, to the women. And then, Taged Livnei Israel, and then you go to Bnei Israel. You go to speak with the men. So we see, first of all, that there was a separation between men and women. They were not mixed, they were separated. That's the way the Kabbalat Torah happened. They were separated, men and women. And I ask you a question. Knowing that the men have more obligations than a woman, a lady, you don't have so many obligations. You are obligated of the mitzvot lo ta'aseh of the Torah. Like all the mitzvot that we're not allowed to transgress is the same for men and women. all the mitzvot aseh that are not time bounded. Also, we have the same obligation. We share that. We share this package. There is obligations that mitzvot that are very specific. What the time to do, when to do it, what to do. The Torah did not give you the obligation, not because the Torah is trying to make a discrimination for women. No, the Rishonim explain the reason for that is because since women have more obligations towards their families, so the Torah cannot exigir, how you say exigir, like a demand from some more things from the women. The women are busy raising their family, so they cannot demand so much from them. So Hashem was, you know what, things that are depending time. I'm not gonna, guys, make you crazy. Imagine if you have to go to Minyanim every day and tefillin, and also you have to feed the children and going to school. Imagine how life would be. So Hashem understands. Hashem wants all the ladies to be happy, right? So those mitzvot, you don't have an obligation. You don't have to wear tefillin. You don't have to go to shofar even though the women tzadikot, they still go to this mitzvot. Sitting in the sukkah is not obligation for women, but you still get the reward if you do it, but don't to feel the push that you have to do it and get all nervous for that. So if you think men have more mitzvot than the women, so I will ask you, who do you think received the Torah first? Or maybe we'll receive it at the same time. What do you think? I'm going to ask. I'm going to open a poll, pull a poll. Who received the Torah first, or we receive it at the same time? I'm going to ask the people that are closer to me. The women first?
It's their jewelry.
Nice, look at that. Very good.
Built to the
The Mishkan, the women are always more committed, right? Nice answer. And what you think?
I think the woman, because when you give a woman something, she makes something out of it.
Very good. Very good. That's amazing. So you don't need to invite anybody for the Rashad. Now I will tell you, the Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer is the first midrash in Am Yisrael, the oldest midrash. Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, he says from this pasuk, we see Moshe Rabbeinu. The command was, go talk to Bet Yaakov, go to talk to the women first, and they go to talk to the men if they want to receive the Torah. So who received the Torah first? Women. The Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer said that the women received the Torah first. They said Naaseh v'nishma together, but they are the first one to be asked, and they agree to receive the Torah. So now I ask you a question: why so? If really men have more obligations, you have to convince the guy that is going to be more like affected by it, no? Like it's not. Why the women? Why the women have to be first to receive the Torah?
Never forget something. Even the wife of no, I mean not in a bad way.
Yeah,
Even the wife of Moshe Rabbeinu, she made a circumcision to
very good.
children.
Which I always said when I speak to a crowd of women, I bring things that the women are surprised that the Torah talks about it. You should know that all the miracles of Am Yisrael are through women. If you go from the beginning, right. All through women, you have to give me an answer. You have to think why Hashem does it that way. I'm not gonna speak about that tonight, but really go in the history. Go. Moshe Rabbeinu, she was, his father didn't want to have any more children. And Miriam came and said, Abba, come on, you're gonna do that. And also, Sarai Menu, he was the one that for protecting Yitzchak, she's the one that took Ishmael out of the house. He said Ishmael cannot be in the house. And the same thing with Rivka. Rivka is the one that knew that Esau wanted to kill Yaakov Avinu. And she's the one that goes to Yitzchak, go send him away, right? And the same thing with Moshe Rabbeinu, when he was going from Midian to Mitzrayim, who saved that the snake was swallowing Moshe Rabbeinu, became Tzipporah, took action, right? And also the miracle of Purim is all through Esther, and Hanukkah is through Yehudis. Yehudis is the daughter of. So all the miracles that always happen is, I don't know, somehow they say behind a great woman there is a pile of laundry to fold. No, they have behind great men, but the women are basic in Am Yisrael. So I asked the question, why the women have to receive the Torah? So you got give me a good answers. The Midrash says as follows, unbelievable. Because Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu that the men follow the women. the men, they follow what the women say. I don't know if it's true. It should be. It is true. It is. It is true. Really, really, men, how you say, appreciate a lot the opinion of the wife, the wisdom of this, and they create the trend. Really, women create the trend. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu says, I need to get them involved first, because their responsibility or their privilege is that they are the ones that are going to make everything work. What's the point of men saying yes if they don't have the backup of the wife, of the woman, right? The mother is the one that instill in his child all what he really needs to do. So therefore, Hashem said the Torah has to be given first to the women. And also, the Midrash says as follows. Hashem said, when my first time I work with human being, I give first the commandment to the men. Adam, Arishon, don't eat from the fruit. So, and then nothing lasts. Why? Chava is the one that broke it. So I have to get the women committed first, and that's the only thing that things will work out. Because the husband listens to the wife. Like the man follows the women. So the women have such a big responsibility, and it's a privilege too, that really Hashem chose you as being the power train of the Am Yisrael and the Torah. Without women, a mother that put into his kids the importance of how to keep mitzvot and learning Torah and doing all the things with simcha and love, because also that's something that women know how to do. Probably Mrs. Magul has already heard this, but like the gematria of the word Isha, the gematria of the word woman, is Aleph Shin Hey, is 306. Okay, 306. Isha, Aleph is 1, Shin is 300, Hey is 5, 306 is the word Isha. There's another word in the Torah that the same gematria is the gematria Dvash. Dvash is honey, okay? Dalet is 4, Dalet. Beis is 2. Shin is 300, 306. So is there any connection? The Sfarim writes, Isha gematria Dvash. That's not the right. Isha gematria Dvash. What that means? What that means? So Rav Zilberstein explains beautifully. This is halacha. It's as follows. The bees are the ones that make the honey, right? Now, honey has a quality that impurities get somehow turned to honey. Anything that is impure in the honey have the power to turn it. If you put a piece of meat for many days on honey, it's gonna disappear. The honey, some sort, could change things around until the point that the halacha is that even though the bees or flies that goes to the honey, sometimes they leave their legs, their legs on the honey, because they touch and they get stuck and they lose it over there. Don't worry, you could eat the honey, because bees are not kosher, right? But don't worry, you could eat the honey. Why? You're eating non-kosher things, because the dvash, we transform it to dvash. It would turn to something sweet. So the Rabbi Zilberstein explains as follows. Isha gematria dvash, that Isha has this power. That what? That she could transform anything bad into good. It's a wisdom, like you mentioned. It's a wisdom that men don't have so much this wisdom, you know. Leave a kid to the father, he will call you 20 times, bother you. It's so annoying. Why the wife doesn't call 20 times the husband? That would drive me crazy. So because there's a power that women have that men don't have. So Isha gematria dvash means the woman has this intuition how to turn things, no matter how bad they are, how tameh they are, into something kosher, into something sweet. And it's important to know, the best bracha you can give a person is to find what he's good at. When Yaakov Avinu started giving his sons brachot, you go to the Pesukim, probably you learn the Chumash, and if not, I will tell you. He goes, let's say, to Yehuda. To Yehuda, you are like a lion, and he gives him a whole bracha. And he goes to Issachar, you are like a donkey, right? You're like a donkey. In Spanish, to say to someone donkey is not nice. You're like a donkey is it's not something, you're not smart. I don't know why. The donkeys are good. So all the brachot are, he's giving his kids like imagine you go and someone said, give me a good wish. He said, you are like a dog. So thank you. Like, what type of bracha is that? What type of bracha is such a thing? Like, you are like a donkey, you are like a snake, and you are like a lion. What brachot is Yaakov Avinu giving? So the answer is that really a bracha is to know your tools. Now in life, you come to this world with tools. Hashem give everybody have something that he's good at. So the biggest bracha is someone that realizes what he's good at and he focus on that. Instead of trying, I always tell my kids a story in bedtime. They always laugh at it. And I always say, I want to make a book. And I tell my daughter, you have to make the book when you grow. Like, it's a banana that wanted to be an apple, right? It didn't work out. So if you have this particular dawn, how you say dawn? Like this particular quality that you exalt more than in anything. So just focus on that. Hashem give you this tool. That's your bracha. The moment the person realizes, instead of he wants to copy this person or that person, just look what you're good at it, focus at it, and that's the biggest bracha, because that will bring all the success in life. When a person focuses on what he's good and he realizes what he's good, and a person should always ask himself what I'm good with, and try to develop something towards that quality that the person has. And that's the biggest bracha. So also for women, it's important to understand that they have this quality of what? First of all, that they could turn any situation as bad as it could be to good. You could do that. You could do it with ease. It's not something, it's natural, it's genuine. It just come, and a person have to know that it's something in nature. Hashem make it that way. The same way the sun could burn the skin, women have this power of what? Of transforming things. And also, since they are this type, really, if you think about it, the Torah, when it talks about fearing, you have to fear, fear, have awe to your parents, right? So the Torah says to your mother and to your father. And when it comes to honoring, the Torah says, honor your father and your mother. So the question, why is in different order? It is, you always say your father and mother, or we should say mother and father. But when it comes to awe, right? Aviv ve'imo tirao. Your father and your mother, you should fear. I forget the pasuk now. I forget the pasuk. I'm sorry, but the pasuk says that you have to owe the reverence to your mother and father, and also you have to honor your father and mother. So really, why is that way? Because a son naturally he honors his mother. Why? Because his mother is the one that make him since his baby is all day interacting with her mother, and naturally he has this honor and respect for his mother, because that's what he's growing with her, right? And he formed this kid into someone. So the Torah emphasized, don't forget about your father first, right? Now, when it comes to fear is more natural with your father. Like you interact less, everything is more like a little bit more like a official formal. So the Torah says, don't forget that to your mother, even though you interact so much with her, you also have to have some sort of awe and show it to her. So that's why the Torah emphasizes first the mother. And this is important because wife or mothers, right, or women are the one that creates trending for little children, for men also. If the women are interested in Torah growth and in Kedusha and in having more Hashem in our lives, more emunah, more bitachon, more gratitude, more all this stuff are gonna it's gonna kick in the family. Automatically it's gonna kick. And the husband will join the theme, because the trends are created by women. That's the nature of the world. The trend is created by women. You could say it could be because the attraction that the men have for the women. You could say whatever, Hashem did it, but it works that way. And that's why Hashem gives the Torah first to the women. So important to understand that for this Kabbalat Torah. But I would tell you more. Even though it's like this, women, the role is very, let's say, is less recognized by the people. Who is the one that shows a shul every day and that everyone knows him? It's the husband, it's the men. The men are the one that everyone knows. The wife is, or the women, not necessarily no one knows them. right? And maybe nowadays you could become famous, but in the olden days, forget the people interact in the society was the man is the one that knows. So why so if you have such an important role? So when it comes to the Shirat Hayam, you know what is the Shirat Hayam? When Hashem Yitbarach did the miracle of splitting the sea, it's a miracle that is important for us to always remember, and all the Yetziat Mitzrayim, in order to have this Akarat Tov to Hashem, that He took us out of being slave to something that it was no purpose more than just work and work and work, and took us to what to be real freedom, which is have choices ourselves. The real freedom Judaism promotes. It's not that you could do whatever you want. Really, it's not. You cannot do whatever you want, but you could choose that you want to do this. That's the freedom. A slave, there's no choice. Either do the command he was given, or if not, he's gonna be punished or forced. Hashem said, "You have the choice. B'charta b'chaim. You want to do it." For payment in the other world is not going to necessarily if a person didn't follow, but it's not. No one is forcing you now. You have the choice to do it or not to do it, and that's the freedom that we're talking. You could choose to do right, or you could choose not to do it. And that's the freedom we're talking. We still have to follow the rules, right? There is rules, but in slavery, it's not just a rule that if you want, do it. If you want, don't do it. There's no other choice. And if not, we're gonna make it hard for you. We're gonna make it hard, and that's not how the Torah works. That's the freedom we're talking. So now, for this important role, so we do celebrate Pesach, and we mention all the miracles, and we mention the splitting of the yam. And the splitting on the yam, Miriam and Neviah, there's As Yashir Moshe, which is all the men. Welcome. It's all the men that they all the men that they sing the song to Hashem, As Yashir Moshe. And then you have the Shira of Miriam and Neviah with all the ladies. Okay? Well, no problem. Okay. I couldn't come at this time. Like,
The son of Miriam.
yeah, the song of Miriam is unbelievable. If you analyze it, probably you know this because every woman have to know everything that relates to you. If you know, I'm happy to be the one sharing it with you. So the song of Miriam is very interesting because Moshe Rabbeinu, he sing, all the men sing because men are allowed to sing, and there's no problem of tzniut singing in front of women. Women, they are more tzanua, so it should be more into their family nucleus, but they're on Israel gathering, so they couldn't sing. So Vatikach Miriam HaNeviah et hatof beyada. She took a drum, okay, and all the nashim, but the tzena chol nashim, and all the ladies went out to a place, separate place. Betupim u'imcholot, also with drums, and mecholot is like some sort of like a bell, and they dance with those bells, and they did mecholot. They went dancing. They weren't singing. They were making the music, and they were dancing, but they weren't singing. That's how the Torah described it. And it's interesting. The pasuk, there's a pasuk in Shir Hashirim that says, "You have a question?"
Came from work drumming, drums and bells.
Unbelievable. You see, it's perfect. It's good. It's good. Hashem wanted you to hear this. It's so important. So the question is, why it have to be that way? If they already went to a different place, let them sing. You could sing here. If there's no men, you could sing, no problem, right? So they have to do it that way. There's another pasuk, interesting pasuk in Shir Hashirim. The pasuk says, "Lesusati berechve paro dimitich ra'ayati." Shir Hashirim is a song of love between Am Yisrael and Hashem, and he's comparing like a relationship of a husband and a wife. Okay, so the husband is telling his wife, "I see you like the sus, lesusati berechve paro, that the sus that was on the chariots of Paro. For me, you are like that." Like a beautiful compliment, right? It's unbelievable. I see you like the horse on the chariots of Paro. That's how I see you in my life. So a husband that will say that is off, right? You know the husband that his wife told him, "You don't say too much compliments to me. You say you love me." And he said, "Listen, I told you when we got married, and if something will change, I will let you know." That's the worst etzah for shalom bayis. But now it shouldn't be that way. It should be compliments all the time. But the type of compliment we have to understand that Torah doesn't just right things. Who will go to his wife to say, you are like a horse on the chariots of Pharaoh? What's this? What's going on over here? So let's try to understand it. Music, okay, or music is two parts of it. Is the lyrics, the voice that you hear, the people saying as Yashir Moshe, and there is the tune that goes behind it, right? That make it more pleasant to listen to the words. Okay, that's a music work. You have the lyrics and you have the music that accompanies that thing and make it so pleasant and so sweet. Okay, so now the men sing, they are doing, the main thing, which is the lyrics, right? But Miriam Neviah, she took uh, all the ladies outside and she said, you should understand something. You see the men singing now, you might feel a little bit down. Why we are not allowed to sing? Why I'm different than you if we have the same values? It's 2025. It should be the same. So Miriam explained to the ladies, I'm going to explain to you something. Let's go out. Let's go out. Don't get stuck into what they're doing, why I'm not doing that. Go out and think what we are. What we are the women. What's the women? The women are the ones that make all that song, all that words that they are saying, the pleasant and sweet. So they took drums and they start making the melody that goes accompanies the thing. And that's our role in life. We are part of this song. It's not just the words. It have to be also the music that goes with the words. So we take part of that. So if you ask me, who is more important? Really, singers make the more money. But I think if you bring a singer without his whole band, it's just an unfair way of looking at things. Maybe but really the band is also, they have a lot of what to do. Okay? So Miriam and Neviah was telling them, you have to understand, our role is not their role. They are here for saying the words. We are here to make it harmony and make it sounds good. And we have a part in this song. And that's what Miriam says. And you know what? Out of all the psukim that the Shira has, what's the pasuk that Miriam choose for the Shira? The pasuk that Miriam choose for the Shira is Sus verochevo rama vayam. Hashem drowned, that's the word, drowned the horses and the chariot with the driver on the yam. So listen, Miriam, if you ask me, I will tell you, there is so many beautiful psukim. This is my God. I'm gonna beautify him. Hashem is all kindness forever. There's so many psukim, beautiful psukim. You have to choose the one that Hashem put all the horses with the drivers in the bottom of the sea. Why you have to choose such a pasuk? So it's the same idea. Miriam is telling them, the drivers of the wagons, without horses, they move nowhere. They move nowhere. So the question is, I understand the mitzvah, they have to be punished because they made us suffer, but the horses didn't do anything to us, zero to us. So Hashem is punishing that he's drowning the drivers with the horses. Why the horses need to be? Let them float and get out of the water. Only you should drown the mitzvah. So Miriam is saying, you see what I'm telling you? That they're singing the song, we are doing the music, but we are not less. Why? Because Hashem also drowned the horses. And the horses, why? What's the guilt? They help to the drivers to be part to chase after Am Israel. So you see how Hashem does value the person that is behind, or the person that is helping, or getting some part of the hood in an action, until the point that he's punishing also the horses. So for us, we should feel proud that even though we're not singing, and we're just doing the drums and the bells, well, we should know that for Hashem it has also a value. Otherwise, the Susim also, they should not be drowning. That's Miriam's point that he was telling to the Benot Israel at the Yam Suf. And this is important to know, because when a woman understands his role, she shouldn't feel my role is less important. There is a rabbi in Israel. His name was Rabbi Levin. He was a tzaddik, big tzaddik. He used to do a lot of, the only rabbi that used to get close to people with leprosy in Israel. And the only rabbi that used to go to the jail No, many rabbis go, but he was the first one that goes to jail and gives shurim to the people at jail. Right? They teach Torah, and a lot of people became religious. They were criminals, and they became religious because this rabbi showed them love. So this rabbi, he was very clear in his life, the way of thinking. And one time he was walking in the street in the Jerusalem, there's narrow streets. And there was a lady with a stroller, with a stroller. She was wearing a stroller. I don't know if it was the Uppa baby or I don't know what the Duna, I don't know that. But it was a big stroller. And she was walking very, very fast. Probably she was rushing somewhere. And, by mistake, she was going too fast. And this rabbi is so slow coming after Shaharit with people around him asking him questions. And she kind of like pushed them a little bit to go through. And the people around the rabbi say, excuse me, lady, you have to be more careful. There is a rabbi here. And the rabbi said, guys, how you talk to a woman like that? He said, what? But look what she did. She wasn't careful. He said, listen, what I did today, I just woke up early in the morning, went to David Shaharit, put on tefillin, and that's all the mitzvot I've done today. But she probably have 8, 7 kids at home, and she already prepared all of them. He got them dressed. She gave them all their breakfast, prepare all their lunch bags, and send them to school. She did so many mitzvahs today, so she deserves the street for her. If anything, I'm in her way, because she's doing so much. She's doing so much. Person should know everything you do at home, anything you do for is chesed. People forget. We think it's our job, like it's my job, and it's really not like that. It's chesed. Rabbi Miller, he was very into that. Person should know if you have to do some sort of something for someone in your family, even though you might feel that you have to, it's your job. Like a wife would tell her husband, it's your job to take out the garbage, right? But it's still a chesed. A husband shouldn't feel like it's not chesed. It's a mitzvah of chesed. And the same thing with wife. When they're preparing dinner or something, it's still chesed. It's not just, it's my job. It's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. You're doing mitzvot. And you're getting olam haba for that. And you should feel good about it. And that's the role that we have to understand. That is not different. What if a man sits down to learn Gemara, or a wife is taking care of running a house, a family, a mother or a grandmother, whatever the person is doing part of keeping Am Israel. The song doesn't goes without the band. You need this band, and that's the importance for us. Before Matan Torah, we understand that this is our role, and it's not less than anybody. The opposite is more important. How we know? The women receive the Torah first. If the women receive the Torah first, you have to know that your role is more important than HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what you need. And really, and that's what's the pasuk in Shir HaShirim. Lesusati berichbe farodim mitich rayati. What the message is given there is a husband telling his wife, not like you are like a sus, you're not like a horse. No, he's saying that you are the power that push the chariot to move. You are the power of the house of the Am Israel, of the continuation of our Judaism. That's what the man is making a compliment to the woman. That we are part of this continuation, and that's how we have to feel. And it's the biggest problem when a person understands that. And I think it's important before Matan Torah that we speak about it. I think I have a lot of more minutes to speak to you, and I will.
It's actually not working.
Oh, really? Okay, good. Okay, so it's okay. Now we know. No, but really, it's important to walk away with this idea, to know that your role is so important, and really, women create trends in the family. When I have experience with people doing tshuva, Baruch Hashem, Siyata Dishmaya, and I've seen when the wife is more committed or the women are more committed, the whole family gears towards that easier. When it's only the man and the other side is not so interested, so it's hard to do it. It's hard. It's doable still, but it's hard and this is what the Torah is saying. Ko tomar levet Yaakov, go first speak with the women. Why? Because da'atan shel anashim, the da'at of the men goes after the da'at of the women. And really it's like that. Because who is the one that raised any child in the world? It's the mother. And so a boy or any person, when he grows, all his influence is for women. So you are trained to listen to what is important for them. That's why if whatever you choose to be important in life, the family will respect it and everyone will follow it. And that's the way of growing. And it's important before the Kabbalah of the Torah, before receiving the Torah, that we appreciate this role and feel proud of that and let everyone know that women in Yiddishkeit are priority. Ladies first. This is how I call my drasha. Ladies first. It's really the Torah. Go to Mar Lebet Yaakov. Go speak first to the women, and then go to speak to the men. That Hashem Yisbarach. I hope it was inspiring as much as we can. If you have any child, any question, I will be happy to answer.
Two questions that we had from the previous class this morning. Our opening classes is on Elevator Tefillah
Yes.
with Revital Rina Azolai. I don't know if you ever.
I don't know them.
She's currently in Israel because she went there to visit her family. But she was teaching us about the brachot before the Shema, before the Shema. And we here have a very diverse audience. We have some that are Chabad, we have some that are Ashkenazi, we have some that are Sephardiot.
I love it.
Everything.
Achdut. That's what we need.
And so we wanted to have there is the clarity for Ashkenaziot and Chabad that they say the brachot saying the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but for Sephardiot there is different opinions. And I wanted to ask you, would you be able maybe to clarify
Explain
this
it.
a little bit?
Yeah. So this is how it works. This is we spoke about it actually. Women will explain that they're exempt for all the brachot that are time bounded. Okay, Kriyat Shema is one of the mitzvot that is time bounded. Starts in the night. You have the night to do it, and in the morning you have the first 3 hours of the day to say it. After that, you read it, but you don't receive the same schar as you did the mitzvah of reading the Shema on its time. Okay, so now it's a mahloket in the halacha. In the halacha is mitzvot that are time bounded. Are women allowed to say the bracha for it? Let's say you want to sit in the sukkah, okay, or you want to shake the lulav. When I say shake the lulav, are you allowed to say the bracha for shaking the lulav? Ashkenazim, they shake the lulav. Why? Because even though they are not obligated, if they do it, they still receive a mitzvah. Okay? The Shulchan Aruch, which is for Sfaradim, he goes with the idea you are not obligated to say the bracha, you don't say the bracha. You're not obligated, even though you could do the mitzvah, but you're not obligated to say the bracha. And since you're not obligated, it will be a bracha levatala. It will be a bracha in vain. Like you're not allowed to say just brachot. I want shakonia bidvaro out of nowhere. You cannot say that. You have to be careful with saying the name of Hashem. It's one of the commandments that we cannot just say the name of Hashem wherever we want or whatever or whenever we want. You have to be taking with seriousness the name of Hashem. Therefore, the Shulchan Aruch, he goes with the opinion, women don't say brachot in the mitzvot that are not obligated to them to look up to do them. Ashkenazim, they go that no, even though you're right, you're not obligated to do the mitzvah, but if you do the mitzvah, it's still a mitzvah. See, and you're allowed to say the bracha. So that different opinions. In the Sephardi world, there is two different opinions how to go. The Rabbi Zion Abba Shaul, I think, he is the one that holds you could say the brachot of the Shema also with the name of Hashem. Okay, Moroccans are more Ashkenaz in this idea. The Moroccan ladies, you should know that we are Moroccan more Ashkenaz than Sephardi in what you see Sfaradim based on the Shulchan Aruch, but the Chacham Ovadia Yosef, he was very pro into establish the halacha like the Bet Yosef, like the Shulchan Aruch, and he said no one, and he asked to make sidurim for women, and you will have the sidurim for women in those sidurim. The name of Hashem doesn't appear where you don't have to say it. Yeah. So now you have to ask your rabbi what you are allowed to do or not. Like if a person knows that he always follows Chacham Ovadia Yosef, so yeah, he should not say the name of Hashem, a Sephardi. And if a person don't really follow the Ovadia in everything, you have another rabbi. So that rabbi, whatever he will hold, he will tell you what to do, and his fine to do it. Like that's all come for this idea that a mitzvah, you are not obligated, you're allowed to say, or no abracha for it. Men, for sure, asher kideshanu mitzvotav, Hashem sanctified us with his mitzvot, vetzivanu, and he commanded us, lying, Hashem didn't command it, you commanded the men. It's like, when you say abracha, you are not commanded. So that's where the machloket starts, and it's all about asking the rabbi in the idea. Whatever you do is right. You know, I will tell you a story about this. A lot of machlokot Sfaradim and Ashkenazim. I will tell you one place that there is no machloket Sfaradim and Ashkenazim. And no Chabad and no Hasidim all have the same halachot. You really go through, you go check the halachot. Do you have a book for Sfaradim and Ashkenazim? There's one book that is only for all of Israel. Try to guess. Okay, but a book that tells you what to do. Very good. The Heilim is, we share all the Torah, we share it, but in the Torah there is different interpretations. Like it could be for a Sephardi to do, let's say, a Sephardi to reheat a liquid soup on the stove on Shabbat will be an issue of the Torah. And an Ashkenaz, they could do it if you still feel hot. If you still feel hot, you can put it back, right? Very good. Lashon Hara is the only thing that there is only one book for all of. One size fits all. Unbelievable. It's important.
It's the only book.
Is the only book? That's it. There's no Rabbi wrote on that.
Because the way that we speak is important, that you're unified in that way, and we all want to speak with dignity.
Or maybe it's the book that
others.
Or maybe it's the book that unifies them.
Exactly. That's what that might be a sign for bringing Mashiach. We learn more Lashon Hara. And it's this week's parsha, by the way, Metzorah and Tazria. It's talked about. Now, I want to tell you something about doing what the Sephardim and Ashkenazim. There is a famous machloket about eating fish with milk. Okay, fish with milk. Sfaradim, the Shulchan Aruch says not to mix them. Okay, the Sfaradim not to mix fish and milk. Okay, so you want to eat your bagel, lox bagel, that is sakana. It's sakana, it could be a dangerous, poisonous thing. We might not see the results in our body, but it could be in our neshama, very, very damaging. And for Ashkenazim, they say, no, there's no such a thing. It's a mistake in the print of the book. We don't find anywhere that the fish and milk is a sakana. Therefore, you could eat. So you go to a Brit Milah house Faradim, you're going to eat fake cream cheese on the bagel, and you go. By the way, there's restaurants that they know that there is Sephardim that go. Fresco is one of them. They know the Sephardim go. So all the cream cheese is already the one that is like no problems of milk, right? Because they know Sephardim go, so they don't wanna make people to a stumbling rock in front of them. So you don't see the difference. Maybe no one realized until I say it. But it's good to know that. It's a big machloket in the halacha. So they went to ask Rabbi Tzion Abba Shaul, I don't understand. If the whole thing of eating fish and milk, it's a inyan of sakana, it's a inyan of dangerous thing for the body, so it should be for Ashkenazim and Sfardim. Listen, poison kills, doesn't matter who you are, the poison kills, right? So why an Ashkenaz will eat this and he's fine, he wanna walk away, survive. And the Sfardim misken, he just tasted right away, something will happen to him, doesn't make any sense. They ask him. He say, you're right. Maybe in the Mitzvot it's no difference, but you know what's the danger? Then when your rabbi and he's a Sephardi told you not to, and you go against that. And when the rabbi told you yes you can, you do it, you don't have any problem. When you do what your rabbi tells you, no danger. The problem is when we have no following the rules. That's the second. That's the way he explained it.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoy it. No, I'm going there to back to them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I will take the water. Thank you very
He's
much.
gonna stop the recording.